So today in the Depp case, we not only heard about the poop that was found in the bed, but we actually saw pictures of it. I'm going to warn you right now, I'm about to show pictures in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, apologies, you were warned. Now, not only that, but we had brand new testimony from one Hilda Vargas. We have never heard from them before. This is the person that finds this and the person that AH blames for taking pictures and subsequently ruining her marriage. She says that she went in, they were going to clean up a messy upstairs. She had another person with her. When they went to the bed to change it, the other person, they were so stunned, they called out and they were standing pointing at something because they were horrified. When she looked, she was horrified and disgusted. She took pictures of it. Again, AH confronts her later. We'll talk about all of that and more. It is such a show. So hey there. Now before we talk about that, I need your help. This is our second comic book. Link is in the description. We're down to hours on this. I need you to check this out. Pass it along if you would, because we're wrong thinkers for saying that this person, they're terrible for doing this. Yeah, the media, they defended them. We said, hey, due process. And because of that, we're locked out of all types of mainstream coverage. We don't need them though. We need you. So if you'd help out, definitely appreciate that. And more on that at the end of the video. So after Johnny Depp said that this thing, it had tanked the relationship, I told you that this was not over and done with. Why? Because Hilda Vargas and Kevin Murphy, they were listed as people that were going to give testimony. And Hilda Vargas, she's the person that found said droppings. And Kevin Murphy, he's the one that was reported to. And they ended up taking pictures, sending it to Johnny Depp. So we'll see that picture in just a moment again. And I cannot believe this stuff is real. I mean, this is mind-boggling. But before we do, these are the words of Kevin Murphy explaining how exactly we get there. You know, because context matters. So on April 21st, 2016, AH had a birthday celebration at the condominium she was residing in with Johnny. The following day, AH and her friends were due to and did go to the Coachella Music Festival. Johnny had requested that I provide AH all the help I could with a party, and along with other employees, we spent about 5 hours setting up one of the penthouses for a party. AH later claimed that Johnny had beaten her on April 21st, 2016. Johnny's security detail, Sean Bett, who had spent 18 years as an LA Sheriff's Department, told me the next day that AH had in fact become enraged by Johnny arriving late from a business meeting to her birthday dinner and punched him repeatedly in the face as he lay reading in bed, forcing Mr. Bett to request a pickup and ride back to his West Hollywood home. Now, to put that in context, we actually heard witness testimony from that too. Apparently, he had found out that the $650 million he made from Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, that had been embezzled. And not only that, but the place that did it, they didn't pay taxes for 17 years, so he owed additional $100 million. So he comes home, he is having that experience, and then AH goes crazy on him. Fun times, but it doesn't end there. So on the 22nd of April, 2016, I spoke on the telephone with Hilda Vargas. We'll look at her statement in just a moment. Johnny's housekeeper, who was cleaning at that place that day, Hilda told me that she had discovered feces in AH's and Johnny's bed. Shortly after our telephone call, I received photographs, the ones that we saw there, from Hilda of a large amount of feces atop a bed sheet on Johnny's side of the bed. I was on my way down to the penthouse, and at the time and when I arrived, I was shocked and disgusted by what I observed as human feces on white bed sheets. The feces did not appear to have come from either Johnny or AH's two small, quote-unquote, teacup Yorkshire Terriers who weigh approximately 4 pounds each and whose feces I had seen during my time as a state manager, cleaning up after them on many occasions. Years later, AH publicly blamed the feces on one of the teacup Yorkies. I sent the picture I had received from Hilda to Johnny's security guard, Sean Bett. I believe that Sean would have the opportunity to speak with Johnny sooner than I would, given Johnny had a busy calendar that day and I was downtown and Johnny was at another location. Within 24 24 hours, I spoke with Johnny personally about the pictures. So not to gross you out with these yet again, but here are the pictures that are taken. I mean, really, the person that did this, imagine doing this to anybody. I can't imagine that at all. But the nastiness that is surrounding that, oh, that's so gross. So you have a close-up of that too. Now, the reason that I show that to you is twofold. Number one, because it showcases proof that event did take place. And again, that's the event that destroyed their relationship. Not because he got his finger chopped off, not because he was burned with a cigarette, but because of that event. Number two, you see the dogs in front of you. They're the parties that are blamed for this. Now you look at them, and again, you tell me, is that the deed of a tiny, tiny dog here, or are we talking about a human that has actually done this? Now AH actually denies saying this too, but Kevin Murphy, he goes further in this and actually says that she took credit for it, and she said it was just a harmless prank. Quote, on May 12th, 2016, I received a text and then a telephone call from AH. A true and correct copy of the text messages is provided in his deposition. When I spoke with AH, she sounded very angry. She told me that she needed her privacy, that she and Johnny were having problems, and that my sending the pictures from Hilda was not helping with those problems. She also told me that leaving the feces in Johnny's bed had been, quote, just a harmless prank. It's just a prank, bro. What's up, dude? What's the problem? In addition, she told me that she was thinking of changing the locks to the condominium. I advised her that I would change the locks if both Johnny and she agreed. Now today as well, Hilda Vargas's witness statement was entered along with those pictures, and you can see this in front of you. I'm going to read parts. I'm going to skip a little bit here, but she tells who she is. She worked for the claimant, Mr. Johnny Depp, as a housekeeper, has done so for more than 30 years. In the period from 1988 to May 2016, she gives the way she works and on, and she tells you in this that all of this is true to the best of her knowledge. There is now produced and shown to me a paginated bundle of documents marked HV1, so she's given documents and asked about certain things in it. I make this statement in support of Johnny Depp basically on that too. I do not know the full details of the claimant's claims against the defendants in these proceedings. I make this witness statement in response to paragraph 151 of the witness statement from AH, dated the December 15th, 2019, which I've seen. In that paragraph, AH states that on or around the night of April 21st, 2016, one of her dogs defecated in AH's and Mr. Depp's bed in one of Mr. Depp's flats in the Eastern. AH also states that their dogs had accidents in the house a lot, including having defecated in the bed before, and this was a well-known pattern of the dog's behavior. 22nd of April 2016. So on the 22nd of April 2016, I arrived at Mr. Depp's home at the Eastern at approximately 3 p.m. There are several different loft-style units in this home. I began to clean Unit 3, which is where Mr. Depp usually slept with AH. The first floor of the unit it includes a kitchen, a living room, a laundry room, a bathroom, and a patio. The master bedroom, office, and another bathroom are located on the second floor. I began to clean downstairs when another cleaning woman, the downstairs level was somewhat messy, but not unusually so. The upstairs level, however, was extremely messy. I had just finished washing dishes and vacuuming, and I was just about to help out with the cleaning with another room and changing the sheets when I heard her call out. She's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I joined her in the master bedroom. She was pointing to the bed and told me that she couldn't believe what she found. I pulled back the top sheet on the bed and saw a large pile of feces. I was horrified and disgusted. It was clear to me that this was human feces. I knew that the feces could not have come from either Mr. Depp or AH's two small dogs. I've cleaned up after them many times, and the feces are much smaller. Further, I've never known the dogs to defecate in the bed. Now, I did not know what to think of what I had discovered. I was completely shocked. With my cell phone, I took pictures of the feces, see exhibit, we just saw that exhibit just a minute again. Then Then the other woman and I washed and changed the sheets. They should have took them out and burned them. I'd been like, oh my God, burn it. Now, while I continued to clean, Mr. Depp's estate manager, Mr. Kevin Murphy, called me to see if it was almost finished. Although I was embarrassed by the feces I had found in the bed, I was so angry that I told Mr. Murphy about it. He at first could not believe it, but I repeated that I had found the feces in the bed and that I'd taken pictures. Shortly after this incident, I stopped going to Mr. Depp's house at the Eastern. I was uncomfortable around A.H. I now work primarily at Mr. Depp's other home. So on Tuesday, May 24th, 2016, I was working at Mr. Depp's West Hollywood home when A.H. came over with her friend, Miss Raquel or Rocky Pennington. I was surprised because I had not seen A.H. at the West Hollywood home in several weeks. A.H. said hello to the other woman who was also cleaning, but not to me. She didn't want to talk to her because she provided that there. Then A.H. then called me over to talk to her in the living room. Her face was pale, and she did not appear to be wearing any makeup. I saw no bruises or marks on her face of any kind. A.H. told me that the pictures I had taken of the feces had destroyed her marriage. I was very nervous, and so I apologized, even though I did not believe that their marital problems were my fault or that I had done anything wrong. How should she? She's not the one who did that. I also told A.H. that the feces were there. There was nothing I could do. A.H. argued with me, saying that there was no feces in the bed. So it wasn't there, of course. I again said the feces were there. They were large and smelled awful. A.H. continued to disagree with me, but I wanted to end the conversation as quickly as possible. I have often heard A.H. yell at Mr. Depp and other people. She has a very bad temper, in my opinion. I did not want her to yell at me. Now, on the contrary, in over 30 years I have worked for Mr. Depp. Mr. Depp, I've never seen him to be physical with or yell at anyone. So that was her statement in that. I was afraid to deal with this person. She chastised me. She said it was my fault that what she did ended a relationship. Sounds familiar? No, sounds like a monster. Now remember, when Depp saw this at first, he joked about it, saying, hey, Amber turd, and Amber, oh, she's in the dumps. Amber is in the dumps. He said that the reason he made jokes about this, too, is because it was one of the most shocking and surprising things he had ever seen. I don't blame him for that statement either. I mean, seeing this, just seeing it here, period, that is shocking. But imagine you walking into your home knowing that this was in your bed, and the person that supposedly cares about you, the one that chopped off your finger, burned you with cigarettes and on, this is how much they actually care about you. What in the world is wrong with A.H.? I mean, this is a sign of a dysfunctional person. But anyway, I thought I would share this with you. Let me know what you think. Apologies for showing this. Apologies for laughing so much. This is insane. I love this case. I hate that it happened to Johnny, but this is the most outlandish thing I've ever heard of. But anyway, you tell me what you think. So to close, this is our second comic book. It's almost over. The link is in the description, and we desperately need your help. Why? Because it won't be picked up by the mainstream, won't be talked about by mainstream pros unless they're belittling us, because we make a good product, but we talk about this stuff too. We challenge crazies out there as well. We talk about problems in industry, and apparently when you do that, you need to be locked out, but that's okay, because the people they can't keep us from, that's you. So check our comic out if you'd like. Spread the word. And again, thank you for sure for being here. You make this stuff possible. I can't say that enough. Not enough people do that. They forget that. You make these endeavors possible. So thank you again. Appreciate you. We'll do this again soon. And it is so freaking crazy. I can't believe this stuff is real.